519 of Reseller Reflections, a day in the life of a full-time reseller supporting her family. It is Sunday, November 9th, 2025. And we did not meet our sales goal yesterday. And we did not meet our sales goal for the week, although we missed it by like $50. Oh, that's painful, right? So close. I tried. I shipped every little last thing out before midnight last night, and it just wasn't going to happen. So, all right, maybe this week we'll hit it. We're going to try our hardest though. I am reset to zero, and I'm getting ready to go into our reseller reset, and I need to reset quite a few things. I have a couple new goals, tactics this week, but I'll be talking about that later in the week. And just about, tools I use to get there and make sure I do it. But what I want to talk about tonight is input. I've been thinking a lot about input. And I'm not talking necessarily about input from other people. I'm talking about all of the things that we are putting in our heads, we are reading, we are looking at, there's just such like an abundance of information and, things we can do to control. Like it's everywhere. Like there's input, there's stuff coming at us at all times. There are these little devices here, which, pretty much have access to our lives 24/7, right? But are we choosing what we're looking at? And, a lot of this came from, social media, right? Like when you're on social media, I think it's become like more and more obvious to me the longer I've really kind of been off of it. Not that I'm like completely off of it. I'm still on it for the businesses, but that input in that algorithm, like you literally don't control what you are seeing, right? It's somebody else is controlling that, corporations, whatever the algorithm is, wants to feed that you that day. There's a lot of divisiveness that is programmed into the algorithm. I don't know why, but what is that input? And just think like, I've been thinking about like how little control we have over that when somebody is just feeding us information, whether it's the news channel we watch, the web pages we're on during the day. But these little devices here can be, I think I know I was and am still so accustomed to being in that reactive state. That's the other thing. Like when you get a notification, there is a physiological response, right? Like you're about to, oh yeah, ding. Oh, wait, what's that? And you're programming yourself to respond to that. And you're not really controlling that input. That's one of reaction. Like how much are you reacting to that? Do you need to control your notifications? I know I certainly do. I'm going to put some effort in this week to, like, I have my Apple Watch, right? And so like I get a text, the notifications are there. Something sells on eBay, the notifications pop up. Like I don't need to know all of that stuff immediately. I need to have better control over that kind of input. I feel like I've controlled a lot of the input from social media just by not really participating in it, and really limit what if I'm looking at a website or I'm doing something like that, really being conscious of what I'm looking at and what I'm reading. And, it's sometimes it's really hard. Like we want to go, like we're interested in something. We want to go down that rabbit hole. I get it. Like I get on to research one thing and all of a sudden, yeah, I'm looking at this and that. And I'm forgetting that I'm not controlling that. I'm not controlling the things that I am looking at. I'm letting someone else do that. And that is a choice. That is more of a choice we make. I think we've just become so accustomed to letting the algorithm feed us and put that input in. And I don't know. There's really no outcome of this reseller reflection other than, starting to think about what those things we're seeing all day are, and maybe being conscious of how they are affecting our day, affecting our mood, affecting our outlook, right? The littlest thing can affect our outlook and how we're perceiving things. So I'm going to just go through, I don't know, maybe the next month or two, being more aware of, what I am not in control, of if I'm scrolling, social media or researching something. And, even what I have on the TV. Yes, I know. I probably should give up the Real Housewives. That's terrible input. That's terrible input. But anyway, all right. So what is your input? Do you have too much input? Do you feel like you're constantly, listening to something? Like, can you be quiet for a moment and kind of reflect on that? That's easier said than done. Is there always input? How much of that input are you actually in control of? And it's been this way. Magazines, radio, right? It's not all social media. Like, we're having to choose our input, commercials, things like that, right? Um, anyway, all right. I hope you take a look at what your input is. And you know what? There is a direct relation, what you're putting in and what your output is. So we'll think about that another time. But let's just be conscious of our input. And if you missed yesterday's reseller reflections, that is some good input. That is about eBay promoted listings and an event coming up this week where you can have an effect and give eBay your input in the upcoming changes on their promoted listings. So that's a place you can put your input in. All right, so go back and listen to it, register for the session, and I will see you on day 520 of Reseller Reflections. Night, night.